Okay, testing, testing. Okay, yeah. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, I will definitely not sing for you. Sorry. However, it's always very exciting when things work the way they're supposed to. Alrighty. I just was checking my mic here to make sure that was working because I'm now paranoid about not having that working and going through all of this work and you can't hear me. So, yeah, that's kind of um, frustrating. To put it mildly, frustrating. Okay, I know I am here a minute or two early. I just wanted to make sure this thing was actually going to work today. So I'm hoping everybody is having a good morning so far. And just a reminder again that you need to be signed into a YouTube account in order to comment or participate in the chat, which I hope you do. Or even if you're watching on replay, okay, I always like to know who's had a look. And I will remind you all before we get started to like this video and please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow my Facebook page. All right, share with your friends, share, share, share. I'm trying to get my subscribers up to 100 on YouTube, all right, and to 700 on Facebook. So I've been on the Facebook one way longer. So it's taking me a little bit of time to build up my subscriber list here on YouTube, but it is happening slowly but surely. And okay, yeah, that's it. All right, so it is still a couple of minutes before 10. So I don't want to start until actual 10. So what can I do here? Oh, how about if I show you? Sorry, show you the layouts, my promotional layouts. All right, so there's two of them. And if you place an $85 or minimum order on my website, then you get this kit. All right. And so it's got everything you need. It's all pre-cut. You just have to add adhesive and then if you want some inking. All right. And that's it. So this is one of them. You also get the guide. Okay. There's the guide from Creative Memories as well as the guide from me because this layout, uh, I completely changed it around. I used the same background paper, but then I changed everything else just because I wanted to and because I could. All right, so anyways, that's that. All right, are we at 10 yet? We're pretty darn close. Okay, I think I'm going to start talking about supplies here. So I have a lot of stuff here. All right, I want to show you what I have gathered around me. I have my trimmers. These are really, really important. Okay, and I've got my regular trimmer for my paper and cardstock. Then I've got my photo trimmer. All right, please, please do your photos a favor. They will thank you forever. Do not use this kind of a trimmer on your photos. All right, they just don't, the photo paper does not like being cut like this. All right, you get a nicer cut if you use your scissors. Really, you would, because scissors work the same way that this kind of a guillotine trimmer works. All right, it goes like up and down like this rather than pulling on the paper fibers. Okay, so I got my two trimmers ready to go. I have off screen, I have my die cutting machine. Doesn't want to stay. There, stand. Okay, I've got my die cutting machine in case I want it. All right, I have my 6 5x7 flip flops. Okay, and the one I'm going to show you, my sample, is the landscape way. So I decided I was going to do one the portrait way this time, just to show you the difference. All right. Okay, I've got my photos ready to go. I've got some of the Poolside Paradise matte pack pictures. What do we want to call them? They're mats, photo mats. I took out a few stamp sets that could be fun. I may or may not use them. I don't really know yet. Oops, try this one on this side. Because I use this Everyday Adventure here for the promo kit. That's why it's out. And then this one. Okay, I've been dying to use this. I haven't really had anything yet that it works on, but I picked out some of my favorite photos from Hawaii, my incentive trip to Hawaii with Close to My Heart, and my Close to My Heart friends, plus my one of my favorite customers, Val. We were Val squared. All right. Okay, so that's that. And then I've got, I prepared some of my photos ahead of time. I'll show you those when the time comes. I picked out this paper I'm going to use, which is the Poolside Paradise. This is very new. Right, and I'll just quickly show you. Okay, all in the blues. All right, and then I've got some white cardstock. Okay, and I want to show you a great fast way to get 3 5x7s out of this. If you're using 5x7, if you're using 4x6, then it's simple, right? But not so simple with 5x7. Okay, and then I picked out some specialty paper. Oh, this is one of the colors that I was going to use for my cover and then decided I didn't like it with my photos. So I may use it in other places. Okay, and I picked out some specialty paper. I've got some mocha and sapphire glitter paper from Close to My Heart. And then I've got some Creative Memories shimmer paper. I picked out a few really nice ones. Okay, don't ask me the names of these colors because I don't know. This one's gold. All right. Oh, this is not shimmer paper. Sorry. But these are. Okay, and this is what I decided on for my cover, is this one. And I may go with this for the trim. Okay, I'm just not sure yet. Or it might end up being a piece of patterned paper. I don't know yet. All right, that's part of the fun of this. Sometimes I just don't know how things are going to end up. All right, and you can see here they've got their coordinating cardstock colors. All right, so I sort of went with the beige, the Island Waters, and the blue. Those ones just stuck out with me the best for my photos. Okay. All right, I've also got the Coordinating Poolside Paradise sticker sheets. I don't think I'll be using the borders today, but we'll see. You never know. All right, and then there's lots of icons here to choose from. Lots of really cute sayings. And then I've got another sheet of icons here, so we'll see what happens. And then here are the embellishments. All right, so those could be fun. We'll see. All right. So, and then on top of that, I have my liquid adhesive. Okay, I may want to do some inking, so I picked out Mink to use. I don't really like inking around edges of things with bright colors. All right, it's way better to pick a soft neutral, and then you will, I know you'll be happier with that. All right, sip of coffee. And then, of course, I have my glue dots, my score tape, my ever-present tape runner. I've got my stamp cleaners and all of that stuff. I got some sponges here. Okay, what was it I just was going to say to you? Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. All right, I think I'm going to show you the album. This is my original. Okay, I'm bringing it up nice and close so you can have a look. Okay, so this is all Close to My Heart product. This was done, this was a project that a very, very talented Close to My Heart consultant created. I think it was 2017, so it's been a while. So you can tell that some of the embellishments and whatnot are a little bit dated already, but, oh, you know what I did not do? I did not pick out an embossing folder. All right, did I use it on? Yeah, I did. I used it on both of them, so I'll have to do that after the fact. My apologies. I got so busy with my photos that I forgot. Okay, one thing I've decided I am not going to do with this album is heat embossing. I thought I might. I did in this one, but I decided against it. All right, for this, because there's just so much other stuff going on in the paper, and the pictures are very bright. So here we go. Oh, there you go, 2017. All right, so all of the background papers are cut to 5x7, which is the size of the flip flaps. So you can cut accordingly. And these are just some of the beautiful ladies that participated in many, many classes over the years here, up to 2017, of course. And you can see I've used some different things here. I've got some glitter paper up here. I wrote by hand here. Okay, and then I cut out sparkle. Okay, and then I used these pearl dots in different places, some faux washi tape. Okay, and then this was cut out with dyes, and then I used clear shimmer brush. Don't ask me how I remember that. It's I have no idea. Okay, and then here is where I use the vellum. Okay, and the nice thing about the vellum is that you can put it over top of parts of pictures and still see the pictures through, right? But I decided as well, because it's the heat embossing, that I don't want to get involved with that for this project. All right, and then here's the back. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the cutting part. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about trimming your photos a bit. I'm going to show you the 5x7 cutting of the cardstock. And then I'm going to do a few pages. It's better to do these pages before you put it together. It's just a little easier, not better. So, so I'm going to show you how my thought process works for creating some pages, not all of them, because that's just going to take too long. And then I will show you how to assemble the album, which is actually very easy. Okay, I hope that works for everybody, because I don't want this thing to go on for 2 hours. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk to you about trimming your cardstock. And I've already cut out some 5x7s. Okay, because I'm going to use these in conjunction with a few of the mats that I've picked out from the mat pack. All right, so they're quite versatile, and you'll see that as I'm going through these. But they're 4.5 by 6.5. So if I'm using these, I'm going to back them in most cases, not every, but in most cases, I'm going to back them with a piece of white. Okay, I think that's the simplest way to go. Okay, so here is my 5x7. All right, and I'm going to pull my wing out here. Back this off because I want you to see what I'm doing. All right, so this is a 12x12 piece of paper. All right, so the first thing you want to do is cut at 7. All right, and then keep this. And you're going to turn the paper, and then you're going to cut at 5. And then you're going to move it over and cut at 5 again. Okay, so that's 2. Now, don't get rid of this, because this could come in handy for a title or any other kind of stamping that you want to do. Now, I'm going to bring this piece in, okay? And because we cut at 7, we know that this is 5 inches wide. All right, so I'm just going to turn it this way, and then I'm going to cut at 7. Okay, and again, hang on to this, because you could use it for stamping or titles or even another album. All right, because this is going to be a 5x5 piece, so it's nice and square already. Now, there is a way to get 4 out of a sheet, but it just takes too long. Sorry. If you want to see the picture, I can post the sketch that shows you how to cut a 12 by 12 sheet of paper to get 4 5x7s out of it. If you're interested, please let me know in the comments and I will do that for you. All right. So that is that. Now, what's next? I might as well cut. Okay, now, if you are going to use, I'm talking about the cover now. So if you are doing what am I trying to say here? If you are going to use your flip-flops this way, so the lengthwise, okay, this is how you want to cut it. You want to cut, sorry. Yeah, I'm not actually going to cut because I'm not doing mine that way, but what you're going to do is you're going to cut at 7, and then you're going to turn it, and what the piece that you cut, you're going to cut 5 and then 5. Okay, and then your leftovers, all right, will be for the little strips that you're going to use to bind your book together. Okay, and they will be 5 3/8 long by 1 1/4 wide. All right, so 5 3/8 long by 1 1/4 wide. And you're going to want 1 for each flip-flop, so 6 altogether. And then you need 1 more piece of cardstock cut, which goes around the whole thing once you're done. And that one will be 5 3/8 long and 1 1/2 inches wide. Okay, so only one of those. So one that's 5 3/8 long and 1 1/2 inches wide. And that'll give you enough you're going to score, and then it'll wrap around all of these. Okay, so just to go over that one more time, you're going to cut 6 strips of your cover color. And they are going to each be 5 3/8 long and 1 1/4 inches wide. And then you want one piece that's going to cover the whole thing up, and that one is going to be 5 3/8 long by 1 1/2 inches. Okay. All right, so now if you're going to do it the way that I'm doing it, did I even show you yeah, I did at the very beginning, my flip-flops, all right? Then you need to do exactly the same thing, except you're going to need your little strips for here. They're going to be longer, all right? They will be 7 3/8, all right, because we're going to go this way. So 7 3/8, but again, by 1 1/4, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut at 7 like I would normally. Okay, and then I'm going to cut at 5. Okay, and I want a front and a back. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. Those are my front and back cover pieces. Okay, now this one is a scrap because it is not long enough to do the outer part. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this and I'm going to cut at 7 3/8. Just don't put that there. Okay, and okay, so I want 1 1/4. Okay, and obviously I'm not going to have enough paper here to do it this way. If you are doing it the landscape way, you will have enough cardstock. But just because these strips are longer, okay, you'll need a little bit of extra. How many am I getting out of 3? Is this 1? 4. Is that 1 1/4? Yes, it is. Okay, so I got 4 out of that piece. So I'm just going to grab another one. Sorry. Just want to make sure we were still live. My mic was still working. Okay. Okay, so this time I'm going to cut at 7 3/8. And then I need 2 more at 1 1/4 inch. My printer always gets annoyed when it runs because it's right there. 5, 6. And now I want one that's 7 3/8 by 1 1/2. That also is extra. I'm just going to move these out of the way because I don't need them. Keep this one here because I want to do my scoring now. All right, so on the one that's wider, the 1 1/2 inch one. Oops, what did I do here? There. No, sorry. Sometimes the weirdest things happen on my computer when I'm not looking. There, that's better. Okay, so this is the one that's 1 1/2 inches wide. So now what I want to do is use my scoring tool. So whatever scoring tool you need. Okay, mine is built right into my trimmer here, so I don't have to get anything else out. But you're going to trim at, just let me check my notes here, 5/8. Okay, and so you can measure on either side here. And 5/8 is right after half. Make sure it's straight. Okay, my cutting blade is out of the way, and I'm just going to score. Not too heavy, just enough that I can bend it. And then I want to score again at 7/8. Just making sure that I've got those straight and I'm scoring. Now, depending on the weight of your cardstock, you might need to do a little heavier to get your scoring the right way, or to get it to dent enough that you can bend it. Okay, so this is the piece that is going to go over the whole thing. Now, and the scoring is the same. It doesn't matter if you're doing the book landscape or portrait. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll just put that to the side. And then we're going to do the same thing with each of our 1 1/4 pieces, but we're scoring right down the middle, and that will be at 5/8. And the one thing I always have to do is remind myself that I'm scoring, I'm not cutting. There's been quite a few times that I've cut when I'm supposed to be scoring, and the end result does not make me happy. Alrighty, almost there. This mini album is, I have not recreated it since I made the original, and I don't know why, and maybe I just forgot about it, but it's really amazing how easy it is. There's so many different ways to create albums, like without having a book, right? And some of them are very labor intensive, but this one is not. Okay, last one here, 5/8. I'm sure, but it's straight. That's that. So now we've got our 2 cover pieces, which I will have to emboss, and I will show you pictures in the photo album for today of the finished album. Okay, so you'll be able to see the embossing folder that I picked. Okay, and I've got my 1 wide strip that's been scored twice, and then I've got my 6 narrower strips that have been scored down the middle at 5/8. Alrighty. Here's my flip-flops. Trim it just right here for a moment. I am going to need it again. I know that. But the thing I wanted to show you now is I want you to make sure that you have your flip-flops all facing in the same direction. All right, so now you can pick to have the opening on the top, or you can pick to have the opening on the bottom. It doesn't really matter. The only thing I want to point out to you is that if you pick them on the top, your front cover is open. All right, now because I did it this way for this book, I'm going to do it the other way for this book. So I'm going to make sure all of my flip-flops are facing the same way. I want them to be down. Alrighty, and of course they're all going the wrong way. That's better. Good. All right, so I'm going to turn them around this way. All right, so now I have these all facing the same way. The bumpy side is up, at least for close to my heart flip-flops. If you're using Peekaboo Pockets from Creative Memories or any other brand, then you'll have to figure out about the adhesive. You're on your own there. Okay. So I've got the opening going to the back for all of these. Just double check here. Whoops. Oh, good thing I double checked. Got that wrong. There. Okay. Now they're going all the right way. Okay. So I'm going to leave the the front cover decoration for now. I'm not going to do anything at all with that. All right. And what I've done is I've got a few here. Oh, did I not count right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I didn't count right. There's one hiding here. Good. All right. So now what I've got here is I've got some of these pictures I've pre-trimmed just to save a little bit of time. And I picked out a few of the cards that I like. Okay, so this is one that it has text on it, but I'm not interested in using that text. I just want this for the border. All right. And I printed out my photos all with borders because I didn't know which I wanted, no border or border. And so it turns out some of them I'm having with no border. And it just depends on the picture, right? And the paper you're using behind. So this one, I love this, and it's going to need background. So I think because I'm using the border on this one, that I'm just going to do that. And I really like that. Okay, so I'm not putting anything together yet. I just want to show you some of the things that I've done so far. Now, this one was a picture of whale watching, of course, because you can see the whale tail there. And the important thing to me about this, like I have done layouts from the day that we did the whale watching, but after the fact, I wanted to put this with it, okay, because this is talking about Lahaina, which is the city in Maui that burnt. All right, I think that's where we went to do the whale watching. And I just feel so blessed that we were able to be there and experience it before that horrendous fire. And so what I want to do is to put these together. All right. So now what I wanted to show you is that I really like this title on this mat, but it's going the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim it so that it will fit on my photo up there somewhere. All right. And then I'm going to have this at the bottom somewhere. Okay, so I've got these three together, and I'm thinking that I might want to use a piece of this paper. Let's see that right here. This paper here. Okay, I'll just take that away for a minute. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that's going to work really, really nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this And because I want the waves going across this way, I'm going to cut at 5 for my first cut. And you'll notice I'm back with my paper trimmer. Well, you can use your photo trimmer for paper, like regular paper, if you want. You just can't go bigger than 8 by 10, right? Because that's how big the photo trimmer goes with the arm out, close to 10 inches. All right. Okay, and this is 8 inches. So that's why the 8 by 10. Okay. So now I'm going to take this, all this together and put it on top here. Okay, so this is just my process for getting ready. Okay, now this one does work. Okay, and I thought this was kind of cool because all of the flamingos are there. Okay, now I'm not sure if I wanted a piece of paper behind this that's colored or plain. I'm thinking colored because white is, it needs more color. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Okay, what have we got here? Oh man. Okay, oh, this might work. It's on the back. Let's see how we like this. Nope, I was wrong. And I don't think that one will work either. I quite like this tile. This is very pretty, but it's just not the right one for this picture. What else have we got? I don't think that one will be any better. Like that. I might need to get some. You know what? I think I might like this one. I think I do. Okay, so this one it is. All right. So this one, now the side I'm using, it doesn't matter, right? It's multi-directional. But if I look over on the other side, just thinking ahead, I may want to use this paper for something else. Okay. And most of the time, if I'm cutting for layouts, scrapbook layouts, I tend to do like strips going in this direction. So it's facing up. So when I'm cutting this, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut my 5 inches first so that I'm not using too much. Okay, and so I've still got this that's going in the direction that I want. Thinking a little bit ahead and save you some heartache later. So now I'm going to go to 7. That's going to be perfect. This. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so now I have another one here that I wanted to show you. And I'm thinking I'm going to take the border off of this one. All right, but this is a long shot of the beach we went to, which I forget the name of, I'll have to look it up, where all the turtles live. All right, they come up onto the beach to sun, and also to lay their eggs. But here I have a close-up of one of the turtles, along with the little sign that they have that tells you that you can't go over there. All right, he just happened to be on our side of the rocks. And so I don't think turtles read. So I thought this would be kind of fun to include. So I'm going to do something like this with this one down here, or maybe over here. All right, I'm just not sure yet how that's going to go, but it's going to look something like that. All right, and I think I'm just going to leave that with a white background. Okay, and here's this one that I cut. I actually printed this one borderless because I knew that I wasn't going to want a border on it. Okay, and I'm using one of the mats from the mat pack, right? And it just really worked well with my dress from that night. All right, so that one's going to go like that. And then it's going to have a white a white background just like that. Cool. Okay, and then this one, all right, I picked this pattern out. This color just really worked. Like the water's not that color, but it just really worked with the rest of the colors in the photo. And I love this one because you can see the reflection of these young ladies in the water around the pool. So this is not a pool. It is a pool, but it's not the pool you swim in. Okay, it's the one that is at the front, sort of in the center part of the hotel. So that's going to go like that. And then I think same thing, I'm going to just use a white background here. Like that. So I'm going to need to cut some more white. Okay, and then this one, I'm also using a matte, okay, like this. Right, and you know what I'm thinking? Did I not see some paper? It's very similar to that, because I may use that instead. Or maybe it was this turquoise color. It was. Okay, so I will do that. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that dark blue would look very nice behind this. Let's just have a look and see. Oh, yeah. That's the way it's going to go. All right, so I will cut another piece of dark blue there. Okay, all right, so that's all of the pictures that I have prepared so far. So I want to move this out of the way. We are not distracted by it. Starting to pile again. I have this horrible habit of piling up things. All right, so I've got my flip-flops. Okay, and I need my, okay, this is the part where we're going to put the flip-flops together. All right, this is the fun part. All right, so I'm going to start by folding these. All right, I just want to grab my bone folder. I did not bring that. Now, if you are going to create this lovely mini album, we would just so like to see pictures. So I can't remember if I made the photo album already. I will go back and check though. But there will be a new photo album for today in which you'll see my pictures, and then also hopefully you will post your photos. And remember, you're always going to mash the mountain when you're folding on a score line. Always mash the mountain, right? And you know when you're scoring, you have a mountainside and a valley side. And the valley side is where the paper goes in, and the mountainside is where the paper goes out. This is really the fun part, putting these together. Now this is the wider one that's going to go on the outside to finish everything off. And we have two score lines. So I'm going to start with one and just very gently bend it over. Because this is going to be on the outside, I don't want any funny crinkles or anything. And then I'm going to open it out, and then I'm going to bend in on the second one. Oh, my printer just talked to me. Okay, we don't get any crinkles. Okay, so we're going to set this one to the side. I'm doing for time. I think I'm doing okay. All right, I don't want to get that one mixed up. All right, so now you need one of these and one of these. Okay, and remember where your sticky part is. You want to just pull that off. Okay, and then you're going to line up the outer edge of your flip-flop with the fold, but you don't want to go over. You just want to come up to the fold. If you go over, then your cardstock will not close properly. All right, so then once I've got this in place and get my finger unstuck, I just put this over. Okay, there we go. All right, so now you're only stuck on one side so far. All right, but we're just going to work on that first. Okay, and I'm going to really burnish that well. Okay, and then I'm moving that over to the side. All right, and I'm bringing over another one of these. Exactly the same thing. Okay, at this point, it doesn't matter which side you're working on. Okay, I just want to line this up, and I'm making sure that my ends are even because we cut the cardstock to be the same length as the flip-flop. That keeps moving. I'm trying to do it so I don't get my fingers stuck. All right, that worked. Another one. I'm trying to behave myself and throw what's in the garbage as I'm taking them off, but they're just so staticky. Okay. All right. Now remember, you don't want to go over the bump. You just want to come up to the bump. And you want the ends to be even with the flip-flop. Now, I don't know about other flip-flops, but my experience has been all with, so far anyways, I haven't used any of the Creative Memories Peekaboo pockets because I've had a lot of close to my heart flip-flops to use. But the glue, the adhesive that's used on these, when you put it onto cardstock, that's it. All right, there's no going back. All right, if you are attaching it to plastic, which you would do if you were attaching it to like a page protector, you can move them. You can pick them up, like you can just gently pull on the adhesive part and you can remove it in case you'd like get it crooked or something like that. Okay, I think I have a rhythm now. I got the rhythm. Oh, there I am singing. 2 more to go. All right. So you see, this is like pretty easy, right? Compared to some of the other albums I've created. This one goes pretty fast. My finger's stuck again. The burnishing is pretty important because this adhesive that they use on these, it's lots. I hope you can see that. So it's very important to burnish. So all of the dots kind of mold into the paper. Whoops, oh, that didn't work. Phew. I suddenly flashed before my eyes that I was gonna have to cut another piece of cardstock. But nope, I saved it. All right. Okay, so we got all of those done. Okay, now I'm just turning them over for a moment. Right. So just a word about gluing onto the flip-flop or putting glue on here. All right, liquid glue will work, but you have to hold it for a long time until it's completely dry. Otherwise, it gives up. Glue dots will work very well. Your tape runner will work, but it's not that permanent. All right, that's the problem, is that tape runner, especially if you live in a dry area like in Calgary here. Yeah, I have not found an adhesive that will last. So what I'm going to use, which I did not put into your list, I apologize, is I'm going to use some score tape. All right, when I'm creating albums, score tape is my go-to because it's a dry glue that's very strong. All right, so I'm just going to move these out of the way. Now, you could use 1/4 inch if you want, but I just find that the more space you fill with these, the better. I didn't bring my scissors. And the score tape is terrible, like not TERRIBLE, terrible, like bad. It's terrible, TEARABLE. You can tear it with your hands. But I'm not going to do that today. Okay, now you'll notice that it needs to be burnished a bit. And then you can just put that over the edge and give it a good burnish. Okay, now I want to keep track of where my openings are. So each one of them is going to look like this. And I'm putting the opening to the back. If you want them to the front, that's A-okay by me. Do you? So then I'm just going to do the same thing with each of these, trying to get it straight. Give it a burnish. Backing off. See, already I've broken my new rule about putting things in the garbage. And I've got a little stack starting here. But I guess that's okay. Okay, so I want my opening at the back. And at this point, it doesn't matter what order they're in, right? Because you don't have anything in them. I just want to put them all together. Work with me here. Now, even if you wanted to use 1/8 inch score tape, that would work, so long as you did multiple rows. Like I'd say no less than 2 rows, one on the inner part of the strip, one on the outer part of the strip. Okay, let me know. Sorry about threaded microphone on the floor. Not sure why that happened. I might have caught the cord with my knee. Okay, I was just checking. Make sure we were still live. We are. And opening goes to the back. Right, my goal was to be done in 45 minutes, but we're almost at 45 now, so we're going to go over probably about 5 minutes. And then I will post my finished album pages in the Facebook album. Well, I'm not doing my lives into Facebook anymore directly because they only last in there for 30 days now. So all my lives are going to be done in YouTube. They will live in YouTube. You can watch them in Facebook if you like. YouTube is much better video quality, I tell you. Okay, and just a quick reminder while I'm doing this to make sure and like this video or post, depending on where you're watching it. And subscribe to my page so you see notifications when I have posted something new. And you can follow my page on Facebook. I am working towards 100 subscribers on YouTube and 700 subscribers on Facebook. I've been working on my Facebook page since 2012. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, I'm not sure it's going the right way. Perfect. All right. So now we have a spine for each of our pages. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to put those spines together now. All right, so I'm going to start at the back. I just am double checking each time to make sure that my foot flaps are all facing in the right way, like for the opening to be at the back, or if you want at the front, doesn't matter. Okay, and again, I'm going to use my score tape. I hope I don't run out. And this will be the back one. Okay, and then I'm just checking the next one to make sure the opening's at the back. Okay, you can't check too many times in my mind. Okay, now you want to really, really watch that you are getting these lined up. You want to line it up at the end and also along the fold. And you can never burnish too much. All right, so I have very carefully lined up here and then along the fold. Okay, and I'm just checking again to make sure I've got this going the right way. All right, so my openings are at the back. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. And I think I'm actually going to have enough tape on this roll. Oops, I did not burnish that well enough. Okay, at the right place. Still at the right place. Okay, good. Can't check too much. Okay, and I'm lining up at the bottom. And then at the fold. Okay, I like it. It's coming together. Okay, need adhesive. Some more score tape. While I'm doing this, I wanted to also ask you, I'm going to do a post about this as well, what sort of thing you'd like to see next week. All right, would you prefer a technique? I focus on a technique or another type of project? So still at the back there. Back there. Yeah, you may be giggling at me, but I like that. Also, the thing about burnishing is you're going to make this space as small as possible. That's also important. Okay, so check in the back. Oops, I need the tape first. Okay, I guess I went over even my over. I'm just not working as fast as I always think I can, I guess. I don't want to shortchange you on explanation. And you know, once this is recorded, you can fast forward through pieces you don't want to watch again. Okay, so I checked to make sure I was going in the right direction. I'm lining it up to bottom. And then along the edge. And you know it's not going to be perfect when you're done, right? I think that would just be humanly impossible. Okay, and I'm still going in the right direction. And you think I'm paranoid, but I have made that mistake enough times. Like I actually, one time when I was doing I don't know if you saw it, but the Cape Cod, I actually put one page in upside down. So it was like, oops, think fast. How are you going to fix this? Alrighty, go getting to the end. Okay, so I'm lining up at the end. I apologize if my head gets in here. I'm trying to avoid that, but okay, and one last burnish. Turn it over, do the same thing. Okay, and now your book is together. All right, so that's how it's going to look. Okay, and then all we have to do now is cover up all the bits along the spine. So it's going to look like this when you're finished. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm just thinking about, do I want to do this? I think I'm going to put the adhesive on the book. I'm going to put it on both sides, but I'm not going to take the backing off of both sides to start with. I'm going to, and remember, you're still at the point where it doesn't matter if you're doing the front or the back. Okay, so I'm going to put my tape on again. Because I truthfully can't remember when I did the other one. Put the tape on this or on this, but I think this makes more sense, putting it on here. Okay. So now I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put it over. Okay, and the same thing. All right, you want to bring it up to the fold, but not on the fold. I'm trying to line up the ends as well. And I won't lie, this is a little bit trickier than one, right? But I mean, if it's not exactly matched up, well, oh well. Okay, and now that I got this side down, okay, I'm just going to roll this so it stays as flat as possible and then push this down. Okay, now that's the back. Good. Okay, so this is your finished book. Cool, right? All right, and your cover will go on the front, on the top side of this one, and your back cover will go on the back side of this one. All right, so now you can get your cover and then a photo and then two photos and all the way to the back. Now, one thing I did want to show you is that, okay, we've got, oh, I didn't get those two ready. Okay, well, oh yes, I can do these two. So these are two pictures that I took that are sort of communal, like they're at the center of the hotel. Okay, this was a performance that these young ladies did one day just after lunch. Or we just happened to be down there, or I just happened to be down there. Okay, and then this was this pond or pool or whatever you want to call it. Okay, this is part of it here. Okay, so what I'm getting at here is that when I put these in the book, I want to keep them so that they're side by side. All right, so I would put them in here like that. Okay. All right, I think that's all I need to show you. All right. If you have any questions about assembling this book or any other part, about trimming your photos, about what was the other thing I did? The 5x7 cutting. All right, if you want to see the sketch for the 4 pieces, just let me know. I will post it. But other than that, you can look forward to the finished product, probably not today and not tomorrow, because I have class tomorrow. Possibly Sunday evening. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right, because I am committed on Sunday to another event. Okay, I think that's it. Please let me know in the chat or the comments or wherever you like if you have any questions. Also, please let me know if you have something in mind that you'd like to see either next Friday or coming up soon, a technique or a project. Okay, I'm always open to suggestions, and don't forget to like this video. All right, we'll be talking to you soon.